Okay. So as I was mentioning, so I have around 20 years of overall IT experience. So I am originally from I'm this place called Punjab, Chandigarh. Currently, I'm in Pune location right now for 2 months for some assignment. Okay, and then I'll be back to Punjab. So I started my career as a manual tester. Okay, so when I got started, it was manual testing, but I was very much fascinated about coding. So people around me, they were always talking about Piyush. We have some a tool called QTP back then in 2006 when I got started in Chandigarh. So my initial salary was 8,000 rupees. Some of you can relate. Okay, 8,000 rupees, just 8,000. Okay, so this is how I got started. Okay, so back then there was a tool called QTP by Mercury. Then it was acquired by HP, and it got acquired by a couple of other companies. Now I think it is with OpenText now. It is called UFT now. Okay, so eventually I moved on to Selenium. Okay, but I was very much afraid of Java. I knew how I learned Selenium. It was not easy because back then there was no YouTube, no Udemy courses. It was very difficult actually. So I struggled a lot. Okay. So why am I sharing with you? I just wanted to tell you that nobody's journey is perfect actually. You might look at me and say that he's a very polished speaker, he's super confident about what he's doing. But I'm just sharing with you my journey so that you can see nobody's journey is perfect, guys. My journey is still not perfect yet. I'm still not perfect even as of today. I'm also learning just like you. I know we all are fighting our own battles. Okay, some of us are fighting for a job. I know it's not easy market out there. Okay, so a lot of you think that used to think that TCS used to be a very safe company. We can even retire it, but that myth is also broken now. Okay, so there is no such thing as job security. So the only thing what is left for us is what? Always upskill ourselves. Okay. So yes, it is not easy, especially with our demanding jobs, but it is the need of the hour, guys. Okay. So that is what I wanted to share with you. Okay. So I started with Selenium and then I started teaching Cypress somewhere around 2020 onwards, because 2019 I started learning Cypress myself. And in 2020 onwards, I started teaching it. Okay. And that is how I learned so many things in JavaScript and TypeScript. And then since last 3 4 years, I'm teaching Playwright now. Okay. So I've given, I don't know how many trainings I've given. I've given one-on-one trainings, I've given batch trainings, I've given so many trainings. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you over here is, because I've given so many trainings, because I've done so many
The
things.
regression that we need to address.
Guys, I would request you please stay muted so that it should not disturb any one of you. Okay, and currently in my office. Okay, so because if I'll mute you, you will not be able to unmute yourself later on. Okay, so I don't want to mute you. Yes, I can, I'm the host, so I'll request everyone to please stay muted. Okay, so thank you. Now talk about my company. So currently at the moment I'm working as a senior test automation architect. Okay, so I'm handling multiple projects now. It is very demanding job. Even I have to upskill myself. I'm also learning AI. I'm also learning AI agents, MCP servers, and so many other things. Okay. So it is all about journey, guys. So you are also into a journey. I'm also into a journey, but your journey is different than my journey, actually. Okay. So this is a little bit introduction about me. Okay. So now we'll talk about what are the things that we have really planned as a part of this course. Okay. So just to save my bandwidth, I'll turn off my camera now. You have seen me. Okay. So I'll start sharing my screen. So, okay, just give me one sec. I'll share my screen, guys. I hmm. I think now you should be able to see the screen. Please confirm me, guys, if you're able to see.
Yes,
Yeah,
Piyush, able
yes,
to see.
Okay.
yes, sir, visible.
Okay. So before I move on, so guys, right. So this is the course content that I have actually prepared. Okay. So this is a very, very exhaustive course. So basically, whenever I design any course, I design a course keeping beginners in mind, especially those people who are just moving from manual testing to automation. Okay. Because most beginners have this fear. Yes, I can move to Playwright, but will I be able to really work independently as an IC? Uh, Sai, I would request please stay muted. And others, Anil and Sai, please stay muted. Thank you. Okay. So, and guys, okay, let us do one thing. If you guys have any questions, I would request just raise your hands, because if everybody unmutes, it'll be a big chaos. It'll be a fish market. Okay. So this is a better way. Okay. So yeah, that will be easy actually. Okay. So I have designed this course keeping beginners in mind, because most beginners have this fear that whether I'll be able to do coding. I have never done coding before. I don't know if I'm really cut out for this. So I get to hear these kind of things because I usually get on so many mentorship calls with others also. Okay, a lot of people usually connect with me on LinkedIn asking that, Piyush, I'm looking for an advice, I'm looking for mentorship, I've just lost my job, I'm looking for upskilling. Should I start with Selenium? Should I start with Playwright? I keep on getting such kind of questions. Okay, so after getting so many questions like this, one thing that usually comes to my head, where are most people lacking? Most people are really lacking in mentorship actually. Even yes, I even sometimes do mentor people even older than me, people having more experience than me. Okay, so sometimes people are lost actually, they don't know what to do. Sometimes people say, people, should I start, should I start learning cloud technologies? Should I start learning AWS? Should I go into MCP? Should I start Selenium? So many things actually. But with such distractions, we cannot go anywhere actually. Okay. So this is something we will understand, guys. So this course is not just a course about Playwright. So you can learn Playwright from anywhere. You can learn just Playwright from even YouTube or Udemy also. What you are actually looking is not just any other tool. You are looking for the right thought process. You are looking to learn from somebody who has been into your shoes, who has been seen all the same struggles, guys. Okay, to talk about me, I have survived 4 layoffs. Is it easy? The answer is no. My first layoff was in 2008. My second layoff was in 2017. I just completed 5 years in an organization in Mumbai. Okay, I was in Worli, Mumbai. Some of you might know. Okay, so I just got a award from my organization for a best performance, and the next month I got laid off. Okay, very difficult call. I just got an email from my HR saying that, Piyush, let us have a meet. And when I went and met her, she said, Piyush, today's going to be your last day. It was a very difficult conversation. Okay, so I have survived this particular part. Then I moved to another company called Rolta in Mumbai. That company got shut down only, and they never paid me my 2 months salary. So you call it layoff or whatever, I don't know. Okay, another layoff just 2 years back. Was it easy? The answer is no. Okay, right? But I always kept on upskilling myself. Okay, so I just wanted to give you hope that if I can actually survive all these layoffs, I can see so many difficult times. I think you can also do. Okay, so this is the course structure that we have prepared for you. So we are starting with JavaScript. So I know a lot of you have questions about recordings and all those things, nodes, JavaScript, TypeScript. So we will cover all these questions actually. So this is more of a demo. So we'll study also some things. We will also talk about what are we planning in this course. So guys, you guys can actually make an informed decision whether this course is the right course for you or not. Okay, that is what my sincere hope is. Okay, so the first thing is we will start with JavaScript basics. Okay, because most companies are now looking for TypeScript. Okay, not JavaScript, TypeScript, because JavaScript has a lot of issues. Okay, and we'll talk about what is TypeScript and how it is different from JavaScript. But the challenge with TypeScript is a wrapper around JavaScript. So TypeScript is not just another language. TypeScript has a similar syntax as JavaScript, but the prerequisite is JavaScript. Without learning JavaScript, there is no way you can actually learn TypeScript. So the initial stages is what we have started with JavaScript. So we will be covering in depth about JavaScript basics. Okay, we'll be talking about JavaScript values, let, where, and cause. We'll talk about interview perspective questions also. Because I'm taking so many interviews, and surprisingly, when I ask some advanced topics to people, most people are not even able to reply to me. Most people don't even know the basics between let, const, and where, which is a very important interview perspective. So, yes, this particular course is designed in such a way that we will not be focusing on interviews because we'll be focusing on clearing the concepts, and if the concepts are clear, clearing interviews is automatic. Okay, my requirement is ultimately you guys should be ready to work in any project as an IC, individual contributor, and clearing the interview should be automatic. So if you are focusing on each and every topic what we are learning, if you're practicing well, yes, I understand life comes in the way. Sometimes you may not be able to attend all these classes on time, and I understand I'm an IT professional too. Yeah, sometimes anything can happen, right? So that is the reason why we'll be providing these recordings. Okay, so yes, this recording will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes to process. Some of you are joining, today only I got a message from somebody from Australia. She said, I want to join. Piyush, can you please provide me the recordings? Because it is 9 o'clock in India, but in Australia, it is 1:30 at night, 1:40 actually. Okay, so, and for Singapore, it is 2.5 hours ahead actually. Is it easy? No, but some people are still relying for recordings also. So yes, we will be providing these recordings for lifetime. Okay. So, I would suggest please mute yourself. Okay, so when it looks like when people are joining in, so they don't have this mute option automatically. Okay, so it's not their fault as well. So that's absolutely okay. So, so guys, this is how we are starting. Okay, and then we'll be moving on to strings, the basic building block of JavaScript. We'll be talking about double and triple equality. Okay, slowly we'll move on to arrays. Okay, most people don't understand that. Okay, most people usually tell me array is something, a container which stores multiple values. But from memory perspective, most people don't have an idea. What is stack memory? What is heap memory? What are pointers concept in JavaScript? What is garbage collection? These are some advanced topics that you should understand. Okay, so if we'll start learning JavaScript in a way like this, clearing interview should be automatic. Okay, then we'll be talking about objects. We'll be talking about different type of loops. Moving on to intermediate JavaScript, we'll be talking about functions. Yes, we'll be understanding basic functions and all those things, but how JavaScript is different from Java. Okay, so here we have something called as function declarations. We have something called as arrow functions, another important interview question. Okay, we'll be giving, basically after every class, I'll be giving some sample assignments. I'll be giving detailed notes, because ultimately you need notes to practice, guys. You cannot just watch the same recording maybe 10 times. It is not practically possible. Okay, so in this case, watch basically taking the notes is extremely important, guys, and I'll be sharing some very cool shortcuts also. Okay, especially in the case of AI. Okay, yes, I'll be showing you something, how to make the notes in a very fast way. I'll show you something live actually. Okay, so we'll be talking about function scope, block scope, callback functions. This is very important, something which we use heavily in JavaScript and Playwright. This callback functions, guys, this is extremely important. Okay, we'll be talking about array methods, miscellaneous features. We'll be talking about map and set collections. Some in case some of you are wondering how come I'm not using this list, array list, which we use very frequently in Java, because in JavaScript the arrays are automatically dynamic in nature. Arrays are fixed in Java, but in JavaScript arrays are dynamic in length. That is why we don't have a concept of array list in JavaScript. We only have map and set. This is very important. So this is something I have prepared specially for beginners, guys, because most people, beginners usually struggle with. They can understand these concepts easily, but where do they really struggle? They usually struggle when it comes to logic building and writing the programs. See, we all know we have ChatGPT now. We all have Cursor and those many things also. Okay, so we have tools like Claude, Gemini, and all those things. They can easily generate code. But is that code really reliable? Some people think, can AI take away my job? The answer is you might be irrelevant if you are not learning AI these days. Okay, so yes, ChatGPT can generate the code, but is it generating the best code? No, we don't know. That is where we still need somebody who can review that code. So automation is very much relevant actually, in case if you are thinking in that aspect. Okay, okay, so this is about your logic building part. Okay, so we'll be actually covering good amount of programs actually throughout this course. Okay, to enhance the logic building. This will give you a lot of confidence, guys. Lot of confidence, this particular part. Then we'll be moving on to advanced JavaScript. Okay, wherein we'll be talking about object-oriented programming. Okay, but I'll not be sharing that same silly thing what you are seeing on internet. So whenever you open Google or any YouTube video, they all say class is a blueprint, object is something, an instance. That is a very silly definition. As a beginner, I don't understand these silly things like class is a blueprint. As a beginner, I want to understand what is a class. Why do I even need a class in the first place? Tell me that first. What is the problem in traditional programming and why do I need a class? Okay. So, okay, let me mute some of you guys. I'm not sure if you'll be able to unmute yourself later on. Okay. Because there's some background noise. In that case, if you still want to unmute, just raise your hands and okay. And then I'll give you an option to unmute yourself. Okay. Yeah. Right? So we'll be understanding what are the problems in traditional JavaScript programming and why do I need object-oriented programming. Then we will learn what are classes and objects. Okay, this is how most people actually learn, and that is why they say this is the best way of learning actually. Object-oriented programming. We'll understand a very difficult to understand this keyword. Most people are afraid of this keyword. This is not too difficult if we understand the rules right. I'll make sure you will understand this keyword actually. Okay, and one of the most difficult topics on internet, especially in JavaScript, is asynchronous programming. It took me 2 years to be very honest. I will not lie. I'm not saying I'm smart. It took me 2 years to understand asynchronous code. I'll make sure that you will understand asynchronous code, what is promises, what are callbacks, and how we use this code in Playwright. Because JavaScript follows something called as asynchronous as well as synchronous pattern. Okay, so Synchronous means execution line by line, while in asynchronous means there's no guarantee of execution only. Yes. So people who are coming from Java background, I know you might find it slightly odd, slightly weird, but JavaScript supports both synchronous and asynchronous behavior. We'll study this in depth before, okay? And then we'll start with TypeScript. What is TypeScript? What are the problems and challenges in JavaScript, and why do I need TypeScript, and why do most companies are now requiring TypeScript over JavaScript? So this is a course on both JavaScript and TypeScript. So I'll actually do a disservice if I'll directly start teaching you TypeScript. No, it is not the right way. You should learn JavaScript first. Study the basics first. Can you directly move on to the fifth grade without completing first, second, third, fourth? No, that is not the right way. Okay, so we'll study from scratch. What is TypeScript? Why to use it? Okay, what are types? What are interfaces? What are enums and those things? How to use classes and objects? We'll cover everything in detail. And then we'll talk about VS Code ID. Okay, how to set up the VS Code ID, especially for Playwright. What are the essential plugins that are required? I'll show you some small demo. How do we do debugging? What is console output? How do we set breakpoints and all those things? Especially as a beginner, you will understand each and everything. Yes, even if you are joining in as an intermediate or an advanced user, you will also find it a lot useful because not only I'll be starting from scratch and beginner topics, but we'll be diving in a lot more detail. Okay, so everybody will find this course useful. This is the confidence that I have. Okay, but before I move on to Playwright, I'll show you something very interesting. Why Playwright is in super demand nowadays? Let me show you. So there's a website, very cool website called NPM Trends. Let me show you something. Let me search for Selenium here. Selenium WebDriver. This is the one. Okay. So Selenium WebDriver is actually there in the market for 20 years, guys. Okay. So let us see for the last 5 years, how many people have downloaded Selenium. Okay. So you see, this is the graph of Selenium in the last 5 years. So, okay. So if you see here, as of 2025, on December 14, these are the people. I think it is 16 lakhs, I guess. Okay. So looks like the graph is slightly on the lower side, which is okay from 23, which was the peak actually, 28 lakhs down to 16 lakhs. Okay, let us compare this with Cyprus. Hello guys, please stay muted. Uh, okay, please mute yourself. Thank you. Now, I'll compare Selenium with Cypress. Cypress is also a very popular automation tool, guys. Okay, so look at this graph of Cypress, which is in orange color. Okay, I have not even entered Playwright now. This is blue color is your Selenium, orange one is your Cypress. Now let us compare it with Playwright. Let us see where Playwright is. Look at this. Can you see, guys? From the last 5 years, okay, let me see all-time graph now. See, 2016, 2017, 2018, 19, no Playwright, nothing. From 2020, the graphs, oh, not even 2020, this is green color, right? Even 2021, nothing. Playwright was nowhere actually. 2022, nowhere. From 2023, the graph slowly started going up. And look at this 24 onwards. What just happens? See, this is where Playwright is. Can you see? This is not just growth. This is massive growth. This is called as an explosion. Okay. And if you look at LinkedIn or anyone, everyone is talking about Playwright. Everyone is talking about migration from Selenium to Playwright actually. Okay. But let me tell you something. Yes, I'm the instructor for Playwright, but let me still tell you one thing. Most people ask me this question. Piyush, I'm already having a Selenium project. Should I migrate from Selenium project to Playwright? My answer is, okay, let me tell you something. Okay, yes, Sachin is saying why Playwright. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, so uh, this is a very common question. Now, I usually tell them, if your Selenium project is working fine, if they are not facing any issues, okay, if it is actually giving you them a proper return on investment, they don't need to move to Playwright. Okay, just because something is working, why do you want to unnecessarily disturb it? In that case, you should not move to Playwright. In that case, yes, I'm a Playwright trainer. I'm telling you this. Okay, why? It is my responsibility to give people the right guidance, guys. Okay, but if your Selenium project is not helping you achieve your goals, which is faster releases, execution times, if you're seeing a lot of flakiness, if you're spending more time in fixing tests than creation of the tests, then before even moving to Playwright, you want to look at your strategy first.
I mean, just have a little bit concerned now, whatever things you have done. But
so I had to mute some of you. Okay. So I'll request everyone to please stay muted. All right. So that is what I was trying to tell. So if you really have a pain point, then Playwright will act as a solution. If you don't have a pain point, Playwright is not the solution in that case. Okay. So, but this is something you cannot even ignore. Okay. So Playwright is growing big time, guys. Okay. Now, moving on to Playwright actually. So the course. Okay. So this is where we were. So then we'll start with setting up the Playwright from scratch, and we will be creating a Playwright with TypeScript project. Okay. And yes, in TypeScript project, we can still run JavaScript because we'll be learning both together. We will study how to install Node.js, how to install VS Code, how to set up your Playwright project, everything from scratch. What are the different browsers of Playwright? Chromium is there, Firefox is there, WebKit is there. Okay, let me tell you something interesting about Chromium. Okay, most people don't know it. Chromium is actually an engine that powers your Google Chrome browser. Okay, but the interesting thing is Chromium is also powering another popular browser called as Microsoft Edge. Yes. So Microsoft Edge also uses Chromium as its own engine. So Chromium is an open source engine, guys, which is powering both Google Chrome as well as the Microsoft Edge browsers. Okay. Yeah. Now, most of the people I ask this question also, what is the difference between open source and free actually? Is Playwright open source? Is Playwright free? Most people sometimes people give me the correct answer. Sometimes people are not able to give me a correct answer. Let me tell you something. What is open source? Is WhatsApp open source? The answer is no. In simple words, do I have the access of WhatsApp source code? The answer is no. Is WhatsApp free? The answer is yes. Okay. So open source means, do I have access to their source code? Can I make changes to their source code? The answer is no. Can I make changes to the Gmail code? The answer is no. So is Gmail free? Yes. Is it open source? No. Okay. So Chromium is open source, means anyone can take the code of Chromium. Anyone can create their own browser on top of Chromium. That is exactly what Google Chrome is and Microsoft Edge is. You should know these basics. This is very solid thing actually, Playwright architecture, and a very important interview question. Interviewer will not even ask you, tell me the difference between Playwright and Selenium. They'll ask you indirectly actually. They will say, what are the challenges in Selenium that you face in Selenium and how you overcome in Playwright? Okay, so we will understand here why Playwright is faster because of the WebSocket nature. Okay, so you might have observed, guys, if you are maybe messaging somebody on WhatsApp, do you have to refresh every time to see whether that person has sent you a message? No, it is all automatic. Okay, let's say I'm a very diehard cricket fan. I can watch every single test ball match also. Yes, I can do like this. Okay, so call me crazy also. This is who I am. Okay, so if I talk about, let's say, these cricket websites, okay, so when I'm in the office, I cannot, of course, watch in live Hotstar, right? Because my manager is sitting right next to me. Okay, right. So in that case, I can always open this cricket match on my mobile phone in espncricketphone.com. Do I have to refresh these websites every time? The answer is no. Okay, why? Because of the WebSocket nature. So WebSocket is like a connection that is established, and it's this connection stays active throughout its nature. And that is something we'll study in depth in the case of Playwright architecture. How Selenium has a different architecture than Selenium. Okay, not just for interview, you want to understand because you want to be a good automation developer. Most people directly jump to Playwright and Selenium and start writing the code. That is not the right way, guys. Learn the in and out of the tool. Okay, don't do what average people are doing. Yeah, that's my mantra actually. Okay, don't do what average people are doing. Most average people just start jumping writing into the code. No, you want to study the tool in and out. You want to be a good automation tester. You can be a good automation tester only when you are a good manual tester first. Yeah, actually, the hiring is broken in India. Okay, when they are actually hiring for automation tester, they just care about the code. They don't care how the people think. Okay, they, as if they assume that the people, the person that they're trying to hire is actually a good manual tester. Without being a good manual tester, I don't think you can be a good automation tester. That is who I believe, especially after working into IT for almost 20 years. Okay, yes, I'm a senior test automation architect, but even till today, I always try to sharpen my skills, even in manual testing. Yes, I'm still, even till today. Am I perfect? The answer is no. I'm still learning and evolving. Okay, I think you also have a scope. We'll understand all these details, Playwright architecture. We'll create how to create a Playwright project from scratch. Okay, we'll run the Playwright test in different browsers, in parallelly in different browsers. We'll understand how the parallel execution works, and we'll also understand how Playwright is super simple, especially for beginners. Why most people are actually preferring Playwright over Selenium? Why? Because it is more beginner friendly. The boilerplate code is very easy in Playwright. Why? For example, if you want to create screenshots in Selenium, you have to write code. For videos, again, you have to write a code. For TestNG, for libraries, for reporting, again, you have to write code from scratch. So this is where beginners get confused and feel, oh my God, I cannot write this kind of code. I'm not very comfortable in coding. Okay, that is why most people, especially beginners, are reluctant jumping to Selenium. Yes, people who have good knowledge of coding, Selenium is very powerful. Java is very powerful language. But beginners, they don't really like writing this kind of code from scratch. But in Playwright, everything is there available. Okay, so we'll also understand what are the basic Playwright methods and assertions from scratch. So Playwright comes with its own assertion library, guys. Okay, so we learn skipping tests, we'll learn about promises, we'll see this is a very in-depth course. We will understand different type of assertions, to be assertions, to have assertions. One of the finest features of Playwright is your auto-wait mechanism. This itself is the number one reason why most people are preferring Playwright over Selenium. Why? Selenium has a most of the times people face a flakiness actually. Sometimes the script passes, sometimes the script fails. But in the case of Playwright, because of this one specific feature called auto wait mechanism, okay, this is what makes Playwright a lot more stable considered, I mean, in comparison with Selenium. Okay, so we don't have to use those explicit weights, those hard-coded weights like thread.sleep like we used in Selenium. Okay, so we'll understand VS Code shortcuts, and very important, we will understand page object model, which is a design pattern. Okay, what is page object model? So, the other day I was actually talking to a very senior guy, and I was asking about, we were discussing about page object model, and surprisingly, he said page object model is a framework, and I was like, oh no, no, what to say? Because page object model is not framework, guys. Page object model is a design pattern. It is basically a thought process. Okay, so in this particular course, I'll be sharing the right thought process when it comes to the design patterns, when it comes to the creation of page object models. Okay, and how Playwright is better, especially when it comes to handling unstable elements. So yes, we'll be talking about location of web elements in depth. We'll be this is something which is some I have to cover, but this is not a very cool feature because recording and playback is something is only for beginners. Basically, in real office projects, we never use record and playback. It is there in Selenium also, but still, yes, we will cover it. Okay. So next, we'll move on to Playwright's UI mode, Playwright Runner, traces feature, which is very cool. So Playwright generates automatic screenshots, videos, network logs, each and everything. Playwright is actually sitting in right inside the browser and it knows each and everything what is happening, including the API calls. Okay, so Playwright knows each and everything. Okay, so then we'll move on to drop downs, alerts, checkboxes, web tables. You think about a feature, we have this in course. Okay, so oh yes, this is very important. Working with a pagination table. Sometimes we have this pagination feature. Means we have multiple pages, page 1, 2, 3, 4. How to go on to another pages. This is very important. Okay, then events, uploading files, handling child windows. This is a very cool feature. Okay, so in Playwright, we can launch multiple profiles which are completely isolated, which is not even there in Selenium, guys. Okay, and this is a very important feature. We can automate multi-user testing. Okay, so this is kind of a special edge case, which is very powerful actually, when we can do this in Playwright. And finally, some people ask, is Playwright an API testing tool? And what about Selenium? Selenium is not an API testing tool. If you want to test APIs, a very popular library is your REST assured. Okay, so but in Playwright, we can do API testing very easily. Automation of APIs is very, very easy in Playwright. And we'll study this in very much detail, how to do API testing with Playwright, and more importantly, how to run the connected APIs. Because most of the times in real office projects, we don't have simple APIs. Simple APIs is very easy actually. But the tricky part is when the APIs are authenticated, means one API depends on the another one, because most of the APIs actually require an authentication token called as JWT token. Okay, so we will also understand how to run these connected APIs and all these concepts in details. Visual testing in Playwright. This is important. These are some very advanced topics, guys, in Playwright. Working with complex calendars, not simple calendars, complex calendars. There's a cool website called fast.com. Okay, this is also an interview question. Okay, so one of my students shared with me. Okay, so he actually got this assignment in some Mang or Fang, I don't know. So they actually told to automate fast.com internet speed, working with iframes, shadow DOM. This is a very cool feature. Most people don't know what is shadow DOM. Another mini DOM feature. Okay. So how Playwright is super cool actually in the case of shadow DOM. In Selenium, it is not easy. It is a nightmare to automate shadow DOM functionality. Okay. But in Playwright, it is super easy. There is a concept called as auto piercing. We'll study this in depth. Then we'll move on to Playwright framework features. Okay. And we'll study this from scratch. We will implement the page object model pattern using TypeScript, not JavaScript. Okay. We'll create the data drives from external files, all those things, understanding Playwright configuration file, all those important Playwright framework features, each and every framework feature that is required, we are covering. Okay. And finally, we'll move on to AI powered Playwright. We'll understand what is Gen AI coding tools. We'll understand how to install GitHub Copilot and MCP servers and those things. Okay. So by the end of this course, this is my goal for you guys. You should be able to understand the Playwright fundamentals. Okay. If somebody asks you, okay, even in interviews, you should be able to explain the architecture with confidence. Okay. Not with shakiness, with confidence. Okay. You should be able to design and develop automated test cases from scratch. You should be able to implement UI and functional testing, perform cross-browser testing, maintain test suites, handle advanced scenarios, generate the reports and debug tests, and integration with CI/CD pipelines. So here we'll be covering Jenkins actually. We'll be talking about what are CI/CD pipelines, how to install Jenkins from scratch, okay, and how to run your Playwright test cases using Jenkins. Okay, we'll understand all these things. Okay, so the total duration of this course is approximately minimum 45 to 50 hours because it is a very in-depth course. Even if I try to reduce it, I don't think I can because I don't never like to compromise on the quality part. For me, quality is important. Okay, that is why I get a lot of business from people because I believe in giving value. And one thing I want to share with most people, okay, especially after working in IT for so many years, most people what mistake they do is they try to cut corners in everything. Okay, if the company is paying them X, they like to give output worth X minus. What I like to do is I like to give output worth X plus. Why? If you give more value, don't focus about what you're getting now. Think about the long term, guys. From long term, if you'll think, you'll always get a lot of money. Okay. Don't think about how, if they are not paying you well, why should I work? Don't think about minimums, give maximums. Average people make average money. Okay. My goal is if you truly want to, if you are truly serious about your career, okay, you all can be an SDET. And if you're in India, you can command a package of at least 40 LP and above. Yes, I have made it, so I know it is possible. And how to make it possible, I can even share the roadmap with you. So people who are serious about growth, they can even talk to me. I can share this roadmap with you. I don't charge anything for this. Okay. So, okay, some people are messaging. Okay. Oh, I just totally forgot to see. Okay, for the CI/CD part, which cloud provider will be using? Okay, so we'll be using the Jenkins part, and Sachin is asking, Playwright has got capability for performance testing or any limitation. So, Sachin, Playwright is not a performance testing tool. I don't say it is a limitation. Basically, there are dedicated performance testing tools. For example, if I talk about, there are other tools like Jmeter, we have tools like LoadRunner, we have tools like K6. So performance testing, you need a different tool actually. So Amresh Lenka is asking, do you have exposure or examples of integrating with the Azure cloud? Yes, I do have exposure. Okay. So this is what we do, guys. Okay. So I would suggest go through this course content in very much detail. Okay. So I think I've answered most of the questions what usually people have. Okay. So it's a weekday course. So I think for the initial 2 or 3 classes would be the demo classes. Okay. And after this, like if people are interested, okay, we will create a separate WhatsApp group. Okay. So people who are enrolled, they will be a part of that WhatsApp group. Okay. So this is how we'll get started. Okay. So now what I'll be doing is I have actually prepared a document with you guys. Okay. Document for you. Okay. Wherein we'll be studying how to basically install Node.js and everything from scratch. Let me share that document with you. Just give me one sec. Okay. So here, one sec, guys. Hmm. Okay, notes. Oh, yes. So, guys, I'll be preparing some detailed notes for all these topics actually. So, this is one document I'll be sharing. Most people find it very useful. Okay. This is a document actually. This is the one. Here, I have prepared this particular document. And in this particular case, we have seen how to install Node.js from scratch. Okay. So, I have written each and everything, basically including the screenshots. Everything is mentioned over here. How to install Node.js Suppose if you're trying to work on your personal machines, okay, sometimes your office laptop maybe has some limitations or some issues. Okay, so you can do this particular part. Okay, and then how to install VS Code on both Windows and Mac. Later on, oh yes, after installing Node.js, we will learn how to ultimately we want to write code. We will not write the code in your browser or your notepad. We will use a professional editor, professional IDE called VS Code. Okay, so we will be learning how to install VS Code from scratch, guys. This is very important. Okay, and we'll be actually, okay, so this is how the VS Code is. Okay, and we'll be talking about what are the extensions required for VS Code, how to install Playwright from scratch. So this document I'll be sharing with all of you. Okay, so I'll be creating a new drive link. I'll be sharing with all those people. Okay, so some of you are asking some questions. With Playwright, can we do UI testing, sir? Like you said, visual testing. Oh yes, UI testing, when you're talking about, it is visual testing only, Sarika. Okay, so Sharad Sunamne is saying, can you please share this course syllabus? Oh yes, yes, accessibility testing will be covered, Tushita. So, okay, I'll share this course. Where is it? Just a sec.
Uh, I have a quick question.
Yeah. What's a good name, please?
I'm Preeta.
Preetam.
Yeah.
Yes, Preetam.
So,
Go ahead.
yes. So, you're saying like you'll be covering MCP, right? So it will be used for prompt consistency or actual runtime decision makings.
Actual runtime. We'll see how do we use this MCP server actually, because this is something we should know at least nowadays.
Yes, that's a kind of buzzword. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll not be learning just the Playwright. We'll be learning what are the most important things with Playwright actually. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So before I take further questions, let me I've just shown you so what exactly I'm planning to cover. Okay. So let me show you something also. So we'll be covering from scratch. So how do we basically start with Playwright? So let me just show you that part. Okay. So I'll share my screen quickly. So just one sec. Are you guys able to see my browser? Oh, sorry, my VS Code.
No.
Okay. I think now you should be able to
Now
see.
we can see.
Okay, so yeah. So this is our VS Code, guys, after installation. So the first thing what we need to do is, okay, the very important thing is you need to install a couple of extensions. So, okay, so first extension you want to download is your code runner extension. Okay, this is a very handy extension which will help you run JavaScript on your machine. Okay, without running any tricky commands. Okay, so this particular extension will help you to get this particular play button. Okay, so I'll share all these extensions with you. Don't worry. So this is the first extension you want to download. GitHub Copilot, we'll talk about this later on. Another extension is your material icon theme by Philip Kife. This is a very cool theme because it basically beautifies your VS Code. So some people usually ask me, Piyush, I see your, because I usually share my screen and I show all the concepts. Okay. So most people usually ask, how do you have such beautiful looking color icons? Because of this material icon theme. This is completely optional, but anyways, if you're going to work in Playwright for a long time, why not as well have a good experience? No. Okay. So it gives you a very fantastic enhanced experience. Okay. So install this particular material icon theme. The third extension you want to download is open in default browser by Picture 90. Okay, this will be very helpful in your Playwright. Okay, so you can easily open your Playwright reports from this extension. And then this is a must-have extension, Playwright test for VS Code. In my case, it is uninstalled. In your case, if you have never done it before, you will see install button. The moment you hit install, you will see this particular icon. Okay, so with this, your VS Code is actually ready for setup. Okay, and now I'll show you how to install Playwright from scratch, guys. Okay, so in this case, what we'll do is we will learn how to install Playwright from scratch and how to create our very first test case actually. Okay, so let me do one thing. So I'll show with you. So let's say so okay, just okay. I'll show you this part. Yeah, so I hope you're able to see. So here I can do like this. So I'll say Playwright. Weekday, Jan, batch. Okay, so I've created this particular folder. Let me show you how to create a Playwright framework, basically install Playwright from scratch and how we can create our very first test actually. even if you have zero coding knowledge. Okay, this is something. Okay, so how do we install it? So simply just drag and drop. This is very, very easy, guys. Just drag and drop the folder into VS Code. Whether it is a Windows machine or a Mac machine, doesn't matter. Okay, so by default, this is how your VS Code looks like. And I've opened this folder and it is an empty folder, guys, by default. Okay, so now what do we do? Okay, we'll install Playwright. How do we install Playwright? Okay, the first thing is we will open the terminal. Now, VS Code has its own integrated terminal. VS Code says you don't want to go outside VS Code, I mean, in your terminal or in a command prompt, because I am providing you an inbuilt terminal. How do we open terminal? Simply press a shortcut key called Control and Backtick. Now, where is the backtick key? Some of us don't know, which is fine. So we have this
Below
backtick.
escape.
Yeah,
Below the
below the
escape.
escape key. Yes, Amresh, very well. So this backtick key is very heavily used in JavaScript. I'm glad Amresh knows and some of you knows, but okay, most people don't know this particular part. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so I'll press Control and Backtick and the terminal is open. This is an integrated terminal right inside the VS Code. Now, how to install Playwright? You can install Playwright only when if you have Node.js installed on your machine. How do we check? Node space dash V. If you run this command and if you see any number, your number will be definitely different than mine, which is okay. If you see any number, it means you have Node.js on your machine. Node.js means you have the execution environment for JavaScript. Okay, so in order to run JavaScript on your machine, you need Node.js. Just like to run Java, you need JRE, Java Runtime Environment. Similarly, to run JavaScript on your machine, you need Node.js. So this is an execution engine for JavaScript. So this proves that Node.js is there. Now, I can easily install Playwright. So if you don't have Node.js, you want to come over here, okay, and install Node.js from this document. And I'll be sharing this particular guide with you. Okay, now coming back to this Playwright, what do? I'll write this command npm init playwright @latest. This is how we install Playwright locally in this particular folder. Okay, I'll talk about this command. Okay, so I'll hit enter. So the first thing, okay, guys, you see the folder structure, the font size is very less. What do? I'll press Control on plus on Windows and Command plus on Mac. Okay, so I think now the font size should be easy for you guys. So we will start with the TypeScript project. Okay, so I'll simply hit enter. Now it is asking where to put your end-to-end tests. This is the folder where all the Playwright test cases would be there. So guys, when we'll move to Playwright, I'll again show you all of this from scratch again. This is a demo class. So I'm just showing you how to create our very first Playwright project and create our very first script from scratch, even if we have zero coding knowledge. Okay, so I'll hit enter. I don't want any GitHub Actions workflow. I'll simply type F for false. See, it is false now. Install Playwright browsers. Playwright comes with its own browsers, okay, which is Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit. WebKit is the engine for Apple Safari browser. Okay, so yes, if I want to use Playwright on my machine, I need to have Playwright browsers. In my case, I keep on giving these trainings. I already have them. In your case, if you're doing it for the first time, it might take at least 5 to 10 minutes. It will start installing these browsers. Okay, in my case, it is already installed and I'm looking for this message called happy hacking. The moment I see this message, bingo, my Playwright is already installed. Okay, so Playwright is now installed on my machine and I'm all set to start working on Playwright, guys. Okay, so this is something what we'll do. So now I don't want to see this terminal now, so I can clear it by pressing Control and L key, which is a shortcut. I'll be teaching all these VS Code shortcuts. We should know these guys. Okay. So as an automation architect or as a senior person in automation, you should know not only coding and all those things, you should know how to write code in a faster way, optimized manner. You should know these shortcuts. Very, very important. So Control and L key will clear your terminal. Okay. Now I'll expand this test folder. This is a sample file provided by Playwright. This is my first test case in Playwright. This is my second test case in Playwright. Don't worry about this code. We'll understand each and every word from scratch. Okay. For now, what I'll do is, okay, I can show you how to execute any of these Playwright test cases. So what do? Okay. So very easy. I can simply click on this particular button, which is the lab icon. The moment I click on this lab icon, you see I get these play buttons. Initially, they were not there, but the moment I click on them, okay, I can now run my test directly inside the VS Code. I don't have to run any difficult command or something. Just click on this button. Okay, so Playwright test is passed. This is how we run the first test in Playwright. Okay, and Playwright is super fast, guys. Okay, so launching this website and doing something over here. Okay, now let me show you one thing. So what do? Let us do one thing. So we have a particular website. Guys, I would suggest please stay muted. Okay, so if you have a questions, I'll take your questions after some time. Just give me 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll be taking up your questions after this. Okay, so I just want to show you something. So, okay, one sec. Yeah. So we have this website called Orange HRM. Okay, is it opening? Sometimes it doesn't open actually. Let's see. Oh yes, it is opening. Let me show you how to automate the Orange HRM login part. Even if you have never done any automation before, okay, this will give you a lot of confidence, guys. Okay, so I'll copy this thing. Okay, so what do? I'll create a new test from scratch. So what do? I'll copy this. I'll paste it here. I'll do this. Now I'll give it something. Okay. This Copilot is actually giving me these suggestions. As a beginner, I don't want to use Copilot, especially. I want to basically force my brain to think actually. Okay, I don't want to outsource it for now to Copilot. So I've disabled Copilot for this particular workspace for now, temporarily. And I'll refresh VS Code, Control Shift P or Command Shift P, which will give me this particular dialog. And here I'll select reload window. If you don't see it, just type reload window here and then refresh. Now you will not get any Copilot suggestions. Now I'll say my first Playwright test. Okay. So let us start writing our first Playwright test. Okay. So what do? Let me simply copy this line. Okay. Await page.goto. I'll copy this URL and I'll simply paste it here. That's the first step, guys. Okay. Now we'll understand how to create our first script. In this case, I'll write await page.pause. Don't worry. I'll explain you all these things later on. For now, just blindly start copying and pasting this part. Okay. And then what do? I'll write only here. Only means I'm telling Playwright in this particular file, run only this particular test. That is the meaning of only. Again, I'll open the terminal, control and backtick. So within the terminal, I'll run this command, npx playwright test dash dash headed. By default, Playwright run test in the headless mode. Okay, headless means invisible browser. We'll talk about this part in very much detail in Playwright architecture. For now, just understand, I have to use dash dash headed to see the browser. Now, if I run this code, let's see what happens. So Playwright has opened all three browsers, okay, which is fine. I don't want to open all the three browsers. So what do? Let me do one thing. I'll do Control C to forcefully stop. Okay, I'll do Control L to clear. I'll open this particular file, playwright.configuration file. Don't worry, guys. You just follow these steps as it is. Later on, I'll tell you what each and every step means. So temporarily, I'll comment out this Firefox and WebKit browsers. I'm not doing any cross-browser testing. So I want to run my test only in the Chromium browser because by default, Playwright run tests even in Firefox and WebKit also at the same time. Is that something I want? Not every time. Okay, I'll run this again. This time only Chromium would be opened. Now I'll hit enter. Let's see. So this is the Orange HRM website. Okay, now my Playwright test is paused. Now, if I don't know anything about Playwright, I don't know about locators, I don't know about CSS, Xpath, nothing I know. So what do? Just click on this button. See this button at the top? This is called the pick locator. Just click on this button and click here. Playwright is now telling you this is the locator. This is how you identify this particular text box username. Okay, and we'll understand later on how this line works. For now, just copy and paste. That's it. As of now, I'm just showing you how to create your first Playwright test from scratch. So write await. Okay, and simply write what? Page dot and then copy this part. Okay, this is your username field. Okay, then what do I want to do? Okay, so I want to type something. For type, we have a method called fill. So this is the username, which is admin. So I'll copy this and I'll write dot fill. Like in Selenium, we have a send keys method. In Playwright, we have a fill. So for any text box, I have to use the fill method. What I'm trying to fill? Admin, which is the username. Okay, now I want to enter the password also. What do I do? Again, come back over here. I think now you know. See guys, how easy it is, no? Just click on the pick locator. Now bring the mouse on password. So Playwright is telling you this is the locator. Playwright feels it is the best one. Okay, so just click on this. So Playwright is now telling you this is the best locator according to Playwright. 90% times it gives you a very good locator, but 10% of the times it is not. Okay, it is also a tool, guys. It also has some limitations. Nothing is perfect. So I'll copy, I'll write await page dot simply paste it. This is the password field. On the password field, what I want to enter, I want to type the password. What is the password? Again, I'll come back to the orange HRM. This is the password admin123. So copy, paste it. Now the next thing what I want to do is just click on the login button and that's it. Okay. So I'll come back to this uh, Playwright Inspector window. This Playwright Inspector window is opened because of this page.pause. Okay. Don't worry if this is not even making sense. For now, we are just trying to automate our very first login scenario. So click on the play button, click on this login. And this is the locator. This is how Playwright will identify this login button. So just copy it, come back over here and simply write await. Just understand this part. For every Playwright command, you have to write this await word. This is asynchronous part. We will understand this later on. Okay, so dot click. Why? It is a button. Okay, and we have to write page dot, which I forgot. Okay, so yeah, this is how we do. So let me just do one thing. Oops. Let me forcefully stop this by Control and C, Control L to clear. I'll again use up arrow key and I'll run this test. Let's see what happens. Is it working now? Whatever we have automated, let's see. See guys, Playwright is able to type the username and the password and click on the login button. So you have successfully automated your very first test, guys. Okay. So I just wanted to give you hope that Playwright is super easy to learn. Okay. So ultimately, the most important thing is your JavaScript and TypeScript, which you want to master. Playwright is one of the easiest tool, guys. Okay. So I've just shown you how do we install Playwright. Okay. Okay. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. You can ping me in WhatsApp private or in group. You can look at the, you can say the entire course content. Now is your time to ask me questions, guys. Okay. So Tushita is saying version 20.11 should be fine. Oh, yes. Anything above version 18 is good, Tushita. So yes, accessibility testing will also be covering. So, okay. So guys, if you have any questions, I would suggest now raise your hands. Okay. Otherwise, if you'll unmute, it'll be a big chaos. Okay. So yes, Anurag, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the session, Piyush. So one thing is regarding the, are we also covering any kind of a project? Because most of
Mhm.
the trainings, we learn the things in bits and pieces, but the real
Correct.
thing or challenge happens when, we try to work on the project. So that's my first question. And
Okay.
my second question is, if we do this course thoroughly, like, going along with you, how many
Right.
years of experience like that we can put on our resume, like, to get the job to be practical? Yeah.
Okay. So, so Anurag, this is something that varies from person to person, actually. Okay, to be very honest. Okay, like some people see, what some people do is like after this course, if you are doing this very thoroughly, okay, because some people are like they just buy courses but they never attend it. I've seen these people also. Okay,
Right.
like new resolutions, people buy gym memberships but they never attend it. Okay, we don't know actually. Okay, now in this particular case, suppose if you are truly serious and if you attend all the classes on time and if you're practicing each and everything, then for sure you can easily justify an experience of at least 2 years easily, because you will get this kind of confidence that yes, you can easily handle things on your own also individually.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right now, to answer your question, second question, the project part, yes, we will be covering things from scratch, but we'll be also talking about not only learn things in bits and pieces, but we'll be covering things in connected pieces also. That is more important, so that we get confidence that yes, I can work things independently on Playwright. And somebody is asking, yeah, Harish is asking, this course will cover both API and UI testing. Oh, yes. We'll be starting with UI automation using Playwright with JavaScript and TypeScript, but later on we'll also cover APIs also in depth. Yes, Harish. So now I see the second person, Ragini. Yes, Ragini, go ahead. Can you hear me, Ragini? Not sure. Okay.
Yeah, I am able to. I was unable to unmute myself.
Oh yes. If guys, if you are unable to unmute, please drop me a WhatsApp because I was getting a lot of background noise. So I muted you actually. If I am muting you, you are not be able to unmute actually. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so my question was like in our company, like we already have the project which is which is automated in Cypress. So
Okay.
they are planning to move the complete Cypress code to Playwright.
Okay.
So, like Playwright, as per my understanding, like we just record and we will get the script. It is whatever discussion we had, like according to that. So,
Uh,
I mean, will it be like that only, or like in
no,
Selenium, the
Ragini.
way we write the programming? So it would be like that one only.
So Ragini, looks like your understanding is completely different than mine. So Playwright is not a record and playback tool. Okay, if you're talking about the example that I showed you, I just try to give all the beginners a kind of hope that automation is easy in Playwright. Okay, I just gave you a very raw example of how I just took almost less than 5 minutes to show you how do we create our very first test, basically the login scenario. This is just a very raw piece of code. Later on, we'll understand how to add logic to it, how to basically use best practices, how to use the clean coding principles, how to use the page object model pattern and all those things. Okay, so if you think Parrot is just a record and playback tool, no. Record and playback is just one aspect. Nobody uses record and playback in real automation. It is only for beginners, only for practice purpose. Nobody uses record and playback actually. Whether it is Selenium or Cypress or Playwright, nobody uses it.
Okay, means we don't have this functionality in Playwright, correct?
Exactly. We do have a record and playback in Playwright, but it is not recommended.
I mean, why it is not recommended?
Because see, why would company pay you if you are using everything from Playwright actually? Because record
See,
and playback. Hmm.
one of our QA team completely completely moved their project in Playwright by using this record and Playwright.
Okay, so that is fine, but just wait and watch for the next 2 months. Is he really happy with his process? It's not about if he's able to do it successfully one time. Ultimately, if he's able to successfully do it at least for a course of 1 year and above, then we can say it is successful migration. Just migrating once is not good enough. Are you getting me?
Okay, so you mean like
I will
the
never
process?
recommend it.
Okay,
I will never recommend record and playback. Record and playback is good for practice purpose, but in real projects, it is not at all recommended. Why? Because you can get better locators than Playwright. Playwright is just a tool. AI is good, but not all the times. A human is actually required, even for controlling AI. Playwright is just a robot, a tool.
okay, and one more question, like with the help of AI, like I mean, I also tried with in our project, like I just asked in cursor, like
Right. Okay.
just automate this login page,
Right.
and I've just added the screenshot over there. So
Okay.
I in Playwright, so I do get the code in the cursor for that login page. So
Okay.
like so will it be like helpful for us, like, or I mean, or it won't be helpful with the help of AI if we are taking such type of
No,
help?
you can see, you can definitely take the help of AI. I'm not saying you should not. You should definitely take the help of AI if AI is actually helping you speed up your process. If it is basically reducing a workload from, let's say, 6 hours to 2 hours, of course you should use AI. But you should not be using AI blindly. You should be you should be having this knowledge that you should be able to review the code written by AI. Just blindly using the AI code, like you were telling about a particular a person who will completely use this AI to automate this project. Okay, that is not the right thing. You should be able to review each and everything what you are doing. Okay, this is very important. Without this knowledge, just blindly relying on AI could be very dangerous actually. I will never
Means how you are going to implement the AI while teaching us this playwright
So
of
okay, I would recommend Ragini. So this could be a long discussion. So I would suggest go through this entire course process. And if you still have more doubts regarding the AI, you and I can separately connect, and I can definitely help you with whatever queries you have regarding AI for sure.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, and guys, okay, in case if you don't have my number, let me just post it. My number is okay. In case if you write this down, I'm actually posting in the chat also because I know you might have more questions. So it is 773853 26 and 84. I've just posted my number on the chat. Okay. So if you still have questions, feel free to reach out to me also, and I'll be very happy to answer. Yes, Gaurav, you have a question.
Yeah, hi Piyush.
Hello.
So, like, I have two questions. So, first is like the framework. What kind of framework we are using with the page object model? And
Okay.
second one is like if you go on real time or the interview process, so they ask for some like the older Selenium thing, like text paths and the CSS codes, like and the parent to child, how we are finding, and like suppose if the locator is changed the position
Right.
from
Uh-huh.
position 1 to position 2, so
Okay.
without changing how we should write the XPath or that code, so it will easily find out that thing. So those kind of things will be covered or not?
Oh, yes, Gaurav. You asked a very good question actually. Because see, if an element has an ID, most people can easily identify it using hash of ID, whether it is Selenium or Playwright. It is very easy. But you asked a very relevant question: how to identify these challenging elements, right? That is what your question is. Okay. So yes, we'll be seeing all these different examples like parent to child, child to parent, and if the middle element changes, it should not impact our existing test cases. Okay. So means basically, if we have difficult elements like let's say sign in button which is present multiple times, how to identify them uniquely, so how to go from parent to child, child to parent, siblings concept, we will talk all about these things. Basically these are advanced locator strategies. Without this, no course should be completed actually, Gaurav. Okay, so if you are able to understand this part, it doesn't matter which tool you are using, whether it is Selenium or Playwright or any tool. Okay, this knowledge will definitely help you out, especially in the automation.
Yeah, got it. And
Okay.
other was the regarding the framework thing, like so what kind of framework will be using with the
Yeah.
page object model? So
Oh, yes, exactly. Framework development. Yes, Rithi. So Rithi is also asking the same question, Gaurav. So yes. So in this particular case, what I would suggest is like we will be basically creating everything from scratch. Okay. And we'll be learning basically most important thing is what your hybrid framework. Because see, there's no one size fit all. So basically it depends upon different companies. Every different company has their own style actually. Some people follow a different pattern. Some people follow a different pattern. Okay. But the most recommended pattern is what your this hybrid framework with data-driven capabilities should be there. It should have a strong reporting capabilities. Okay. And what other things it should have? It should have good amount of abstraction. It should have good amount of page object model. Okay. Some people say we should have single configuration files. Some people say we should have multiple configuration files. We will understand all these things in depth actually. Okay. So I'm telling, right? So there's no one size fit all. I'll be sharing all these things now. Depending upon your organization and depending upon your project, then you can decide which one is the right fit for you. Because what is right for you may not be right for me. What is right for me may not be right for you. Okay. Yes. So Akshay is also asking, are we going to work on live project and work as a team so that we can fix issue live, get conflict? I'm not understanding your question, Akshay. Okay, so Amresh is asking, will there be any specific project covered throughout the course, for example, an e-commerce website? Okay, so yes, Amresh, so we'll be talking about a specific project here. We will be talking about, so basically the page object model. Okay, we'll be talking this particular thing in depth. So how do we use connected pages, multiple pages? Okay, all these pages. Yes, we'll be covering all these things in depth. Okay, so I see another person by the name of Sai Notaski. I'm not sure if I
Yeah,
pronounced.
hi.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi. So, how many days is this course? Like, I mean, how many months or sessions?
Okay, so this course is going to be a very exhaustive course. So it will take at least 45 to 50 hours. I'm saying at least. Why? I don't think I can actually reduce it. Why? Because there's so much to cover, especially from JavaScript and TypeScript. I have to cover so many things. In the case of coding, also we have to cover. Okay, then we have to start Playwright. Then we have to cover AI also towards the end. So it will take at least 45 to 50 hours.
Okay, so that's going to be 50 days.
Yeah, 50 hours means 50 days basically. So it will take at least 2 months, I believe.
2 months.
Yes,
Okay.
approximately. And this is the same time,
Okay.
10 o'clock IST.
Okay. And do you do any other batches like weekend classes,
Oh,
or
yes,
it's just the only this?
no, we do have a weekend batch also, but the weekend batch is currently midway actually. It will take at least
Oh,
1.5 month approximately before the next
okay.
weekend.
Okay. Where can I find this information of all the available classes, what timings, start date, and is there any way to maintain it, or
Okay,
you
so
will?
you can stay in touch with me and I can definitely help you out with this information. So
Okay, sure.
yeah. So Sai, I have just posted my number in this chat. Okay, so Abhinay is asking what are the timings for weekend batch. So Abhinay, so the timings for weekend batch is 7:30 to 9:30, but it is currently going on. I'm the same instructor for the weekend batch also, but we have just started with Playwright now, and it will take at least 1 month and above, maybe 1.5 month also for the next weekend batch. We have not yet decided when is the next weekend batch really going to happen. We don't know yet. Probably, maybe it might take even 2 months also. We don't know. Okay, so Anjali is asking any live project for practice after this course. Oh, yes, Anjali. And you will require this support if you require. I'll be there to help and guide even after this course gets over. Because it's not about the course gets over, then who are you? No, doesn't make sense. So Anurag is saying if you want to put this in our CV and apply for job, by when we can do that, considering this is hot time for new opening in UK and US market. Not only in UK and US, Anurag, even India is also catching up. Okay, so yes, so you can actually add into your CV, but the only thing that is required is you want to practice thoroughly, especially the coding part. Because ultimately in interviews, mostly people will ask you questions on programming first before moving on to Playwright. So you want to be very good with programming first. Okay, so I'll be giving very good amount of exercises. So by when we can do that after first month? Oh yes. So for the first month is your JavaScript and TypeScript only. We will study this in depth. So if you'll cover all those assignments, you'll be very good actually, especially in JavaScript and TypeScript. Because ultimately, writing Playwright code is easy. If you know how to write the code in JavaScript and TypeScript, it is very easy actually. Most people struggle in writing the code. How to get the document which is showed earlier. So Tushita, I'll be sharing this document with you. Just ping me on WhatsApp. You already pinged me, I think yesterday only, right? So I remember you. So yeah, I'll send you this document. Okay. So I see the next person is Devi Pravallika.
Yeah, hi Piyush.
Hello.
Hi. Along with this playwright, and do you teach any integration with the Git?
Okay, yeah. So basically, Git is a separate world in itself, actually. Okay, to be very honest. So version control is a different course altogether. So it will take at least 20 to 30 hours to thoroughly understand Git and GitHub. Most people are actually confused between Git and GitHub. And sometimes I ask people like, what is push and pull? What is commit? They don't even know that. Yes, this is something you should know. Okay, but I would suggest focus on one thing first. If you focus on too many things, it will become more of a distraction actually. That is my
Okay.
recommendation.
Okay. At least at last, after completing this, during closure of this complete
Oh, yes,
course.
absolutely. And if you still need help in that Git and GitHub part, you can reach out to me.
Yeah, because in most of the interviews, people are asking for the GitHub links and what is the technical work we did and that
Correct.
kind of stuff.
Okay, I totally understand what you're saying, Devi Publica. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So basically, if you truly aspire to become an SDET with a GitHub profile, give yourself at least minimum 6 months or so. If you think you can learn everything in 1 to 2 months, no. Some people say, I've seen people like posting their roadmaps. First month, oh sorry, first week you do this, second week you do this, and I wonder, as a beginner, especially when I have so many tight project deadlines, how can I learn everything in 1 week or so? It is impossible actually. It is not easy. It will take some time.
Yeah, understand.
There's no sugarcoating it. It will take time. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So Pravalika, if you still have any questions or doubts regarding Git or GitHub, definitely reach out to me and we can discuss this in detail. And I'll surely help you. Whether you register or not
Sure,
is a separate thing. I'll still help you regardless.
sure. Thank you, Page.
No worries. So Anurag is saying, will there be any mock interview or interview practice kind of sessions? So, okay. So Anurag, so mock interviews completely different here. So we'll not be doing any mock interviews here, but I'll make sure that if you are practicing well, you should be able to clear interviews. So because mock interviews is completely different. That is, to be honest, it's not a part of this course. So he's saying if I'm starting my career in automation now, should I go for Selenium, REST Assured, or Playwright? Anurag, so again, there is no one size fit all in this case. Sai, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, now, yeah. So, Anurag, okay, yeah. So, in your case, you're asking, you're starting your career in automation. So, should I go for Selenium? Okay. So, Anurag, in order to answer this question, I can answer based upon my confidence. Okay, but I'm not sure how you are as a person. Are you comfortable with coding? Are you okay with Java programming? How much you are, whether you are scared of coding? I don't know all this. Okay, but suppose if you are like me, if you are a little scared, okay, so if you are still new to programming, in that case, I would suggest uh, start with JavaScript. Why? Learning JavaScript is easy compared to Java because learning Java will take at least 3 to 4 months because Java is very huge language, including collections, including multi-threading, including so many things. So learning Java takes a long time. And if I talk about Selenium, Selenium is just a raw jar. Everything you have to start from scratch. So yes, Selenium is powerful, Java is powerful, but for beginners, it will take slightly more time. So I recommend to people, especially for people who are new to programming, I would suggest start with JavaScript so that it is easy. If you will not get easily demotivated, especially in JavaScript. Why? It is easier to learn. The code is simpler than Java. Playwright is simpler than Selenium. That is just my personal recommendation. Okay, but again, there's no one size fit all. So you can decide what is best for you. But this is my recommendation. I usually recommend people start with JavaScript and Playwright because it is easy. And second reason, Playwright is in more demand than Selenium. So you should ideally focus on where the market is going. That is my choice actually. Okay, so thank you, Anurag. So next person is Aditya. Yes, Aditya, go ahead.
Normal, we can use inspect, right? Same kind of thing we have to use in Playwright also.
Exactly. So this is like inspect only. And Playwright Inspect is very powerful tool. The inspector that I was just showing few minutes ago to basically
Playwright inspect is an extension or what?
no, it is not an extension. It is a part of Playwright only.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you don't install it separately. It comes as a part of Playwright. So if you truly want to use it, just use this line page.pause and add dash dash headed. Without dash dash headed, you will not see Playwright Inspector, even with page.pause. So you want to use page.pause along with dash dash headed, then you will see Playwright Inspector, which is a part of Playwright.
Okay.
Yes.
And another one is you just tell that the backslash something
Back.
to open the terminal.
Oh, okay. To open the terminal, okay. Let me write this for you. Can you see this? This is called backtick key. This is right below the
Okay.
escape.
Yeah.
This is a slightly different code. You see this? It has a slight angle actually. This is called backtick.
Yes. Yes.
So you press, okay, let me show you. Control and backtick. See, terminal is gone. Control backtick, again, the terminal is there.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Any other question?
Same for Windows, right?
Oh, yes, same for Windows. Yes, I'm using a Mac machine, but even if it is a Windows, it's the same thing. Control and backtick keys.
Okay.
Yes.
In Playwright, how can we get the timer? For example, in Selenium, we are doing explicit or implicit, right?
Implicit waits, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. In Playwright, we don't have to use these explicit waits most of the times. Why? Playwright has this feature of auto waiting here.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, and we'll understand. So not initially. Firstly, we'll start with JavaScript, and once we are done, then TypeScript. Then we'll understand how this auto wait mechanism is powerful and how it actually works in Playwright, and why we don't have to use any explicit those hard-coded waits like thread.sleep, like how we use in Selenium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll study this actually. So Venumadhav, can you elaborate what kind of library files you're talking about?
Actually, as part of initial stage, we have node modules, right? In that, you're finding like all packages and all. So, what are the
Mhm.
mandatory packages do you want to include in
No,
node
no, no. We
modules?
don't need to use any mandatory packages. All we have to do is just install Playwright. Playwright will automatically install all the mandatory packages it internally requires. These are called transitive dependencies. See, I installed only Playwright, right?
Mm.
I never
Yeah.
installed this F7s. I never installed Playwright Core or this one. These
Okay.
are installed automatically by Playwright.
However, I have seen some different packages while installing in node modules. That's why I asked just to
No,
clarify.
no, see, no question silly actually. You are free to ask me any question. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Got you. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So the next person that I see is Amol. Yes, Amol, please tell me.
Hey, hi Piyush, Amol here.
Yeah.
So in the interview of the playwright, the interview will ask on questions on the JavaScript as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because I'm an interviewer myself. See, before even starting with Playwright, to think logically. Before even asking for Playwright, I really want to understand whether the person really knows coding or not. Otherwise,
Yeah,
what is the point in even asking Playwright if the person has no coding knowledge only?
okay. Need to be very clear on the JavaScript as well.
Absolutely. See, again, no sugarcoating here. You want to be good with programming if you want to make a good package. As simple as that.
Yeah, that's right. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Any other question?
Piyush, one small question. How do we segregate like TypeScript and JavaScript? Which one we need to use
Okay.
in a real world?
In the real world, we use usually TypeScript. Okay, I'll give you a real example now. Okay, you are able to see my screen, right? Looks like you guys have a lot of questions, and I'm also very excited to answer. So let me show you. So, okay, look at this part. I'm creating a new file called TypeScript. So let me say TypeScript.ts. Let me show you what is the issue with TypeScript. So, sorry, now what is the issue with JavaScript? So if I create a variable like this, let's say let counter equal to 0. Okay, suppose if this is JavaScript code, let me show you. So if I come to, okay, let me create a JavaScript file. Let's say sample.js. Now let me create a variable called counter1 equal to 0. Okay, now can I do counter 1 equal to Piyush? Unfortunately, yes, in JavaScript, this is allowed. See, initially it was having a number. Now I'm adding a string. Is it allowed? Ideally, it should not be allowed actually. This is very weird in JavaScript. Okay, so it is not throwing any error. But if I do the same thing in TypeScript, let me show you. If I do counter equal to something, anything, say Piyush. See, immediately TypeScript is throwing an error. See, bring the mouse. It is telling you type string is not assignable to type number. Now you only tell me which one you want to use in your project. The one that doesn't throw any error, which will, you can find out this error probably at the runtime, or one that shows you an error right now. What do you
Yeah,
think?
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. TypeScript is clear. It
That
will
is the
be
reason.
easy. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So TypeScript code is not difficult actually. TypeScript code is same as JavaScript. It is just the small syntax is there actually. In TypeScript, you have to use something like this. Let counter colon space number. I'm clearly telling in TypeScript, this counter has to be a number. This is TypeScript only syntax. So TypeScript and JavaScript are very similar. So the syntax is slightly different. I hope that makes sense now. Yes, Phil? Okay.
Yes, Piyush. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
No worries.
For all of us, for to go for a TypeScript, which will be the suggested site for the beginners for learning, like
Okay.
variable declaration and all from the basics?
Okay, so I would suggest you can search any website actually. There's tons and tons of websites on the internet. So honestly, I don't look at those websites because I teach in a very structured manner, and I don't think you have to go to any other website actually. If you study whatever we are covering, this much is good enough, very good enough, according to me. But yes,
Clear.
if you want to go ahead, you can search on internet actually. There are tons of websites out there actually. Okay, so
Thanks, Piyush. Thank you.
no worries. Anurag is saying Windows machine with 4 GB RAM and i5 processor is okay for this course. Anurag, okay. So the short answer is yes, you can use, it will work, but it will not be super fast because your machine is slightly slower. 4 GB RAM is way too slow. Your Playwright will work, but it might not give you optimal performance. You will actually be very frustrating actually. Okay. So if you really want to run automation, try to have a little powerful machine. 4 GB RAM in 2026 is, I don't know, as if you are using a Nokia phone in today's time. Okay, so ideally, I would suggest try to upgrade, but yes, you can still use it. Now, Sharad is asking, hi, sir, I'm trying to apply for jobs, and how can I apply for US and UK jobs? Um, Sharad, this is a very different, different question. Okay, so I would suggest you and I can talk in private because this is a very lengthy discussion. I cannot give you a one-liner answer for this question. Now, the next question is, Anurag, how good Playwright is to deal with data-driven or data-intensive application? I work on ETL and Azure data engineering side. If I want to automate or do automation ETL, can Playwright with JavaScript is a good choice or Playwright with Python? Okay, so this is a very common question. Most people ask me, Piyush, should I go Playwright with JavaScript or Java or with Python? I'm not saying Java or Python is bad, but firstly, you need to understand a couple of things. Firstly, VS Code is developed in JavaScript. First thing. Second thing, Playwright is also developed in JavaScript only. And you need to understand that whenever Playwright comes up with any new feature, any new release, okay, immediately they come up with in JavaScript and TypeScript, or in simple words, your Node.js. But in Java, Python, and other languages, they take at least 2 to 3 months to catch up. So that's the reason most companies usually prefer Playwright with JavaScript and TypeScript and not just Python or Java. Yes, Python is very powerful for data science. Java is also very powerful. But for Playwright, the go-to language is JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay. The next question, Sarika is saying, can we automate desktop applications? No. Sarika, we cannot automate desktop applications because desktop applications, they don't have a DOM. Playwright needs a DOM basically. Playwright needs a browser to automate. Next question, can we do mobile automation testing using Playwright like native? Okay. So Sarika, using Playwright, we can do the mobile emulation, but if you are thinking is Playwright a mobile testing tool, the answer is no. Playwright is not a mobile testing tool. If you are looking for a mobile testing tool, the right thing is what? The right thing is something different. You need something called as APM, not Playwright. Playwright is not the tool for you if you are looking for mobile testing. Okay. So that is the thing actually. Yes, you still have a question? Please let me know. I still see your hand is raised. Okay, and before we wind up, one very important thing, very common beginner mistake, what I see people doing is, as soon as, let's say people who are especially applying for jobs, as soon as they see uh, a job posting or something, they immediately hit the apply button. Please don't make this mistake, guys. Please, please, please don't make this mistake. The very important thing, especially in 2026, if you're looking for jobs, is the very first thing that you need to understand is believe in the power of networking, guys. If you are sharp, okay, if you think you are shy, it's not going to work for you. You want to be bold, loud, and confident. If you truly want to get a good job, you want to network with people. Okay, don't just randomly message to people. Okay, always try to network with people thinking about how can I help them. Okay, don't think about you first, think about the other person. Okay, yes, I know it is a little difficult, especially when we have selfish nature, especially. Okay, but if you're thinking from the long term perspective, you will get a lot of good rewards. In my case, I keep on giving value. That is what I tell all my students. Whenever you are doing anything, whether you're doing office work, in your marriage and relationship, everything, always keep on giving value. You don't know when you'll get something back. Okay, you'll get 100 times good things actually. Okay, so regarding the interviews, very important thing is always believe in networking. Stay active on LinkedIn. Keep on updating your LinkedIn profile. Okay, and always keep your eyes and ears open, guys. This is very, very important. Okay, so an important thing, next thing, whenever you get any email from for your, especially for your jobs, what you want to do is look at the keywords what are there in that job. Okay, so you want to basically put those keywords into your resume first. If your resume that is not ATS friendly one, because you all know for the same job, hundreds, thousands of people are applying. Okay, so do you really feel HR has the time to basically go through 1,000 CVs? They don't have the time. So they actually use AI to filter all these resumes. Okay. So if you don't want AI to reject you just because of the keywords, so yes, it is a slightly lengthy process, but before hitting the apply button, make sure you are having the relevant keywords. Okay. So yes, we'll be talking about these interview tips also, because this is something most people miss actually. Okay. Very important thing. Okay. So any other questions? So this is mostly a mentorship program. This is not just a Playwright course according to me. Okay. I'll be sharing my 20 years of experience with you actually. That is something, unfortunately, nobody did it with me, but I believe in giving value, because I feel if you give value, you will get 100 times better results. Think long term, guys, always. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If there are no questions, we can stop for today. Okay, so looks like there are no questions. So I would suggest, if you really like this class, if you are thinking about joining, do drop me a WhatsApp message, especially for those people, okay, who truly want to enroll. Okay, and if you still have any other questions, you can drop me a WhatsApp in the group, or you can even drop me a personal WhatsApp, whatever works for you guys. Okay.
Your
Yeah.
personal WhatsApp is in the same number as in the group, sir.
Oh yes, absolutely. So my personal number I've shared in the chat. Okay, so many people have posted in the message. Let me share it one more time. 7738532684. Now I have again
Okay.
posted my WhatsApp number.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So guys, tomorrow we'll start at the same time. It is 8:59 p.m. Okay. So tomorrow we'll start with basics of JavaScript also. Okay. So I would suggest do join the class and see how we actually learn JavaScript from scratch. And trust me, it is going to be a very fun and enjoyable experience. Okay. So I think there are no other questions. So thank you so much for joining. It was great talking to you all. I really appreciate the energy and the questions what most people are asking. Okay. And I'll hope and feel that you guys will get the maximum value from this course. Okay. So with this, we'll end the class and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. So take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.